Hi, this is Kat with Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, and I'm here to do your new moon in Taurus reading. I will also be doing my weekly guidance video tomorrow, but we just had a new moon yesterday, and we had it in Taurus, which is the second sign of the zodiac. So this card out of the moon deck that I'm using, the prosperity lies ahead. So Taurus usually rules kind of like security, like physical, like pleasures, like money or stability. It's an earth sign, so it's different things like that. They're a very kind of like stubborn and steadfast energy. They're not super fast moving. And so from this last cycle that we just moved through, where we started something new and we're setting these new goals for ourselves, now we're moving into a new lunar cycle where this is saying, in order to reach this prosperity, how are we going to find it in the most stable circumstances? By really kind of taking a step back and setting those foundations that are going to have us set up for success later. Because from what I've been understanding with the astrology lately, a lot of the energy is pushing us to do a lot of our new goals on our own. And so to be self-reliant, we really have to, instead of really push forward without any really set intention, we could wind up just really throwing ourselves in a loop and not really being successful in our endeavors. And so that's what this cycle is asking for, is how do we build our security? And so, yeah, I'm gonna do a new moon reading with the other moon cards. These are the Moonology cards. And then I'm gonna also pick a card for the month to be a sort of animal spirit guide. These are the animal medicine cards. So this will just kind of be not a prediction for everybody. This is always different energies, different ways to interpret them. So however it resonates with you, this is just kind of what we can look forward to throughout the month. And so we're going to go ahead and start shuffling. Thank you for those who are watching right now, and for those who are going to watch later. If you have any sort of insights you want to share, or if this really resonates with you, I love to hear from people. So let's get these all shuffled up. Hello. These are like new cards, so they're kind of hard to shuffle a little bit. I think that one, so 2 cards, yeah, those want to pop out. So take those 2, and then we need 1 more card. So for our last card, do that one. Okay, took me a second, sorry. Okay, so the first card represents what's rising up in me. So we have the full moon eclipse card, which says conclusions are within reach. So maybe there's been something coming to the forefront that you're not really, over this last cycle, you've been just pushing, and you haven't been able to figure it out. It hasn't been resolving itself. And it's been really frustrating. You're trying to make all this progress. I can speak from my own experience, trying to, like, you have these goals, you have these things set out, and you're trying so hard to push forward, but there just keeps seeming to be something pulling you back. And so with the conclusions in reach, maybe it's finally like that cycle is finally coming to an end. And I'm sorry, I keep looking outside. I think there is an owl on the roof outside, so it's kind of cool that he's watching over while I'm doing this. So yeah, sorry, I'm really distracted by that. So losing my train of thought. And so if this has been like a kind of rough cycle for you over the last month, the astrology has been kind of interesting with this last month. And so maybe now that's finally with the new moon where you're taking a second to actually step back and reevaluate and find new ways to approach this at a much like slower pace and just kind of accept what's there. Then maybe there's these new visions or opportunities that are presenting themselves for you to actually solve these problems. And maybe this could be something that's not necessarily an issue. It could just be like certain things are ending now with this new cycle. So anything that is not serving you in your life anymore could just be coming to an end, and just learning to release that. And if it's concluding, there's usually a reason for it. So we'll start off with that. And then the second card represents the main message of this new moon. So we have the full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. So with trying to find your equilibrium, especially after like these setbacks and trying to find conclusions, again, that energy of just feeling frustrated or not quite sure where you're going, finding that balance within yourself, because maybe you've been leaning too much one way or the other. Like maybe you've been too practical and you haven't been looking at the bigger picture of what really resonates with you in your heart. Or maybe you're just really flighty and not actually putting some real grounding experience into this. Everybody kind of fluctuates between the two. I know sometimes I'm a little bit too practical. So actually taking a moment to step back, and maybe the answers aren't all there. And when you actually start to find that harmony within yourself, then so does your environment. And so if we learn to actually approach problems in a different way that maybe isn't working, then this will probably open yourself up to more of the flow and allow things to come more naturally. So that is our main message. And then the third card represents the final outcome. And then we have Pisces again. So new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. So with this new experimentation of things are coming to an end, and you have to kind of relearn how to function in your world. You have to relearn how to navigate these new things that aren't working for you anymore. And so now with the new moon in Pisces, it's asking you, like, once you've gained this knowledge, or maybe once things have kind of come to fruition, actually taking time to sit and really think with yourself if that's what's working for you at this time. And yeah, just actually being present with yourself and asking yourself what you really want from all that. And yeah, I think it's a great cycle of relearning ourselves and relearning new ways of doing things, because it seems like everybody is kind of going through this big shift in whatever way that manifests for you. And so being really open to how you could maybe approach this differently, because we're all growing, we're all learning. So you never really want to stay the same, because then you don't really learn new things. So yeah, then, okay, I will draw us a little animal spirit card just for some animal guidance for the month. I'll be doing a full moon reading in the middle of the month to kind of lead up to that. So just see how that resonates with you over the next couple weeks, and if that's helpful. And yeah, let's see. And this will just be a guide kind of till the next new moon. So we'll see how this resonates. This guy. Okay, so we have Badger. So I'll read from the book real quick just what the main message of Badger is, so that I'm not completely off. I like to do kind of intuitive process, and that's a good skill for everybody else to do, to pull their own message. But okay, yeah, so aggressiveness, that's kind of the first idea that I got as well, because we all know the terrifying story of badgers. I haven't personally had a run-in with a badger, but everybody knows just you don't want to piss a badger off. So aggressiveness, like really, I think this is speaking to really taking the reins on your own life and really trying to do things differently. So I'll just read from the book real quick. Badger is vicious and attacks with powerful aggression. Badger is quick to anger and quicker to pounce. The power of Badger's medicine is aggressiveness and the willingness to fight for what it wants. The very thought of facing badgers makes other animals run for cover, like skunk. Badger's reputation precedes it. Its hissing fangs will tear less aggressive opponents to shreds. Badger is the medicine of many powerful medicine women, for Badger is also the keeper of the medicine roots. Badger sees all the roots of Mother Earth's healing herbs hanging in its burrow home. These roots are a key to aggressive healing. Roots can ground negative energy into the earth by allowing illness to pass through a body into the ground as neutral energy. Badger medicine people are quick to act in a crisis, and they do not panic. If Badger is a part of your medicine, you are quick to express your feelings, and you do not care what the consequences are. Badger people oftentimes insist on carrying the ball for the touchdown. This attitude, however, does not endear them to their teammates. So, I'll skip to this part. If Badger pushed its way into your cards today, it may be telling you that you have been too meek in trying to reach some goal. Badger asks you how long you are willing to sit and wait for the world to deliver your silver spoon. The key is to become aggressive enough to do something about your present state of affairs. Badger is teaching you to get angry in a creative way and say, I won't take it anymore. So again, with that, I think speaking to this balancing spirituality and practicality, where you've maybe been kind of too influx of the one or the other, and so you're not really pushing forward and progressing. So now it's time to really step into that power and knowing yourself, knowing what you want, and not being afraid to really just go for it and really just plan this for yourself. Like this, that's the message I'm kind of getting, is that this is really a time for us to be our own guides and strengths right now, because that will be the ultimate foundation for everything. That will bring us the most progress, is really finding that patience and practicality within ourselves to move things along in the direction that we want them to go. So I think that is all I really have to say about that. So thank you so much for everybody who hopped on and watched live. This video will be on my page as well as my business page and YouTube as well. So if you have any comments or you want anything like personal readings done, feel free to reach out to me, and I will be also posting teaching schedules and another card reading video tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you, and happy Cinco de Mayo.